Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Nady, and today I thought we'd go over my favorite affordable makeup items. As you fabulous people know, this is about the products, not the people behind them. Any tiff you may have with them, please cast it away because this is a channel of positive energy, okay? Thank you. Oh, my little pickle potato chips, how you doing today? I hope wherever you're at in the world, you're having a simply spectacular day so far. I myself am doing really, really good. It is a beautiful day outside. I cannot wait to go out there and lounge. But before I do that, I kind of wanted to go over my favorite affordable makeup items that I've been using lately. Usually when I film, I try to use a mixture of both affordable and kind of expensive products, just because everyone has different shit that they use. Some people prefer more luxurious items. Some people really are okay with the more affordable things. After testing really fucking expensive shit and testing really, really inexpensive shit, they both honestly perform the exact same. In fact, more often than not, the affordable shit is better. I mean, sometimes you will find a diamond in the rough that actually is worth a high price tag, but my heart will always be with the more affordable products. My soul, however, she's an expensive bitch. And I kind of want to start interacting with y'all a little bit more, so I'm gonna read off a riddle. If you know the answer, comment down below. I'm sure everyone can kind of pick up on it once the first person answers, but if you don't know the answer, that's totally okay. I didn't either. Just leave an emoji as to how you feel about affordable makeup. Mine would probably be the dancing like salsa lady because I love saving money, but I'm gonna read the riddle. It says, I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have water but no fish. What am I? I'm sure someone will either Google this or know the answer, but if you're curious, I will post this on my social media stories, so make sure you check out that. But that's just a fun little way to interact with everyone. I love it. So now onto these productuals. I think I'm gonna go in the order that I apply them. Usually I start with a moisturizer, which could literally be anything, but I don't really have an affordable favorite right now. I kind of use whatever BoxyCharm sends me, like that and Geology, which Geology is not inexpensive, so I'm not even gonna list it. But for primer, I fought against this product so much because at first I didn't like it. I didn't understand what all the hype was about, but then I started like scooping this out and really spackling this on my face, and now I love it. That is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, or I like to call it the Poreless Pussy Primer, but I don't think a lot of people like it when I call it that. But the first time I used this, somebody told me, or I watched something on it, I don't know, but they used like the tiniest little amount, like less than that. I tried that, it didn't do anything. Now when I use it, I go in with that. Like, this thing is not gonna last long for me, but it doesn't matter because it is so inexpensive. I think this is maybe like $5 or $6, if that. I could be wrong, but it's definitely under 10, and you really don't need to apply that much. I just do. I actually think that if you applied this maybe with your moisturizer, it would do really, really well, but I never do. I probably should because this would last a lot longer, but currently by far my favorite primer. I switch between this and like the medium priced Laura Mercier, which, speaking of medium priced, let me know if you want to do this for like medium priced makeup and then high end makeup, because I do kind of have a big ass collection of makeup that I'm willing to share my knowledge about. Maybe I can even do some giveaways with it. I don't know. But for primer, this is the only little bitch in this category. Let's see, what do I do next? Foundation? I actually have a few different ones for this. So I will start with, I think, my least favorite, or what used to be my least favorite, but now I kind of fucking love. That is probably what you've heard me talk about a million times on here, the Juvia's Place Foundation. The first time I tried this, my skin just didn't love it. I don't remember if I had like dry skin or what, but when I put this on, I looked like a little fucking monster and it wasn't cute. The coverage is hella real. I can't ever really go in sparingly with this. I don't know if it's the primer that I use, but it just like sticks on immediately and you only have an option to go full coverage with it. I think you probably could maybe mix this with something lighter, like either a moisturizer or a more liquidy foundation, or maybe even a BB or a CC cream. That would actually probably be beautiful with this. I might have to try that. But now that my skin isn't so dry, it's kind of more just normal, I fucking love this. It is beautiful. I would use this with drag. You can cover acne with this, scars, tattoos, like literally anything. The secrets from under the bleachers that you want to keep from your parents. This shit has your back. Like, it is just so good, and it is really fucking affordable. I've said it a million times. The only thing that I don't like about this, which I really want them to upgrade, is that it doesn't have like a window with the actual shade in it so you can see what color you're grabbing. But the window thing is annoying because I really do think that this could be used professionally, and if you're using it professionally, you want to be able to grab something quickly and hold it up to them and color match. So that's really the only complaint anymore that I have with this. It is good shit. I've more recently fallen into loving the Revolution Beauty Body Veil. I totally get it if you don't love this brand. They are copycats. They've had a lot of fucking issues. I even kind of feel uncomfortable mentioning them a lot of times, unless it's one of their products that isn't a clear dupe. This, though, is a dupe for the Dior Backstage, or at least it's supposed to be, but it's really not the exact same. I think the most most similar thing with this is that they're both kind of watery and they both have similar packaging. But I mean, this one is even thicker than this one is. It doesn't have as good a coverage on the body, I don't think, as the Dior does, but on the face, this is amazing. I think I actually prefer this one on the face versus the Dior. And you really don't need very much. Like, a little bit goes a long ass ways. It's lightweight, it's buildable. You can just do a lot of things with this. It's a great mix-in. You can kind of mix deeper foundations in with it to get your correct shade, or do the same with lighter. It's just... What in the fuck is happening? It's just good. It looks really nice on my skin. It's very user-friendly, and I think they have quite a few shades. Don't quote me on that, though. I can't really remember, but I do find myself mixing this with my Dior Backstage, which is obviously too deep for me. I don't know when the hell I was ever this tan, but I'm not anymore. So it's kind of like a clash of the expensive with the inexpensive, but it's not like I have to mix it with that Dior. That's just like the deeper one that I have. I've also mixed it with ColourPop, and it's worked really well. And this next product I'm kind of hesitant to share because CoverGirl, though I love them, they were the first company to actually send me PR and then the first company to take me off their PR list. But CoverGirl, their products are good, but their shade range is atrocious. And I'm kind of torn about it because at like HomeGoods and Marshalls, I always see the deeper shades that they do come out with for like 50 cents. And so I know they're one of those brands that caters to the market that purchases most from them. But also some of their products like the Simply Ageless are so damn good that if they really expanded, I know they could tap into a whole new market and be really inclusive, and I really want that. Their first ever product that they sent to me was like 40 or 50, I don't know, some huge number of foundations right around the time Fenty came out with theirs. And so they do have some foundations that really are quite inclusive, but if I remember correctly, I think their Simply Ageless doesn't really have that great of a shade range, and I wish it did because this is so good. My grandma actually got me into this. Oh fuck, I love it. It's one of those foundations where you can just put it in your hands and just like rub it on and it looks great. For me, not all foundations are like that. They just turn into a mess and look streaky, but this is definitely very user friendly. It is made for like every age out there. It has Olay, some kind of shit in it that's good for you, I think. Hyaluronic complex and vitamin C. It's moisturizing. It instantly reduces the appearance of wrinkles. I don't know. It's just really good. It's really affordable. I like that it does have skincare and makeup in with it. It's really important at fucking any age, but the older you get, the more you need it. So I like it, but I don't like the shade range. Like, I'm on Ulta's website right now, and I don't know if maybe they only carry a certain range or this is actually it, but the deepest one they have is Classic Tan. I'm sorry, but what the fuck? I'm gonna go to the actual CoverGirl site and see if it does go deeper. No, they literally only have 12 different shades. That, my friends, is a fucking shame because this would look so good on so many people. I don't like that. But if they do have your shade, pick it up, I guess. Or if you're not really feeling that, that's okay. We have one more option, which is actually my favorite fucking foundation possibly ever. That is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the first foundation that I ever bought. I really liked it, and then I started getting into other foundations, and I find myself coming back to this. I found a version of it in a little pouch. Where is it? My little color sack, if you will. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I bought this on Amazon. I think it was from a European distributor. They launched this because it's supposed to be like more eco-friendly, but this is glass and this is plastic. I don't think that's correct. However, this is actually way fucking easier to use. I so prefer this. This one just has like the normal glass pourer thing. Very kind of old school. Not that I mind, but when it comes to ease of use, I definitely like this. But this baby, I just got off Amazon for $3.50. It was only select colors that were on sale, but oh my god, did I stock the hell up? Yes. This is the matte and poreless Maybelline Fit Me. I think they have a glowy version. I don't know that I've tried that. Maybe I even reviewed it. Fuck, I don't know. But this stuff makes my skin look airbrushed. It doesn't matter if I'm having a terrible skin day, I can always get it to work with some tool. It might not be for everyone, but if your skin is anything like mine, kind of like dry patches here and there, but for the most part normal, then you'd probably love this. And like, you can't beat the price. Like, you can go to Dollar Tree and get something cheaper, but for just a couple dollars more, you can have something that looks professional. In fact, I would recommend this to professionals. If you do get it at full price from places like Ulta, it's $8. Like, really not that bad. Unless you want like full ass drag coverage, which you can get with this. You only need a teeny tiny baby drop. So this bottle could easily last somebody maybe 2 or 3 months. Not bad at all. You can even use a little bit under the eyes as like a squee just to help brighten and conceal. I personally don't have many complaints about this. I think it's beautiful. Then we have our actual squeeze. I'm gonna start off with the Ordinary. I actually forgot about this, but when I was looking through my drawer, I remembered it and I was like, fuck, this is the tits, man. So here she is. This is the Ordinary, high coverage formula corrector thingy. Maybe $5 or $6 for this little thing. It's kind of a dupe for the, fuck, what is it? What is it a dupe for? I used to use it all the time. It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. That's what it is. This is a kind of more liquidy formula for the Bye Bye Under Eye and like 1/10 of the price. It's really, really good, but it does run a little bit orangey sometimes. And that's what I don't love about it. If it didn't turn orange, this would probably be one of my favorites. But like 9 out of 10 times, the foundation I'm using is already too yellow, so adding orange on top of that just isn't a cute look for me. But if you can get this to work, it is so fucking worth it, other than the orangey oxidizing. I've also really started to love this e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. The OG one came out, and it was kind of a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, which I don't care for that either. I used to think I liked the Tarte Shippy Tippy under my eyes because everyone loved it, and then after like 2 uses, I came to my senses and started saying how shitty it looked and got so much crap for that, but then other people bigger than me say it and suddenly everyone thinks that, so okay. But if you liked some of the qualities of the Tarte Shippy Tippy, just not like the dry texture that it adds, then this is where the hell it's at. Not only is it way cheaper, but it actually is hydrating. It has super high coverage. It blends out beautifully, and you don't need very much of this. Like this tube I have had for several months, and I really do use it frequently, and it doesn't even look like there's anything missing from it. Like there is a good amount of product in here for super fucking cheap. If you did like the OG Tarte Shape Tape but don't really want to spend the money on that, they did have the original one. This one's too light for me, but I find myself either cutting the crease with this or doing like drag makeup where my face is already cakey, so it doesn't really matter if I add more to the cake. The normal one could be good maybe if you are on the more moisturized, oily side, but if you're like me whose skin is thirsty, then this will be perfect for you. Like I said, they're not going to work for everyone, but as far as inexpensive squeeze go, this is good. And I recently used this one in my skydiving video that I did a couple weeks ago. This is the Kiko Milano squeeze. I think it's like high coverage or something. It's just a little cake pan, and this I believe is $11 or $12, which kind of sounds high because you don't get very much product in this, but I shit you not, I have used this probably 30 times and you can't even tell, if it'll focus, there we go, that it almost seems like it's going to be useless, but then once you put it on something, it has so much coverage. Where's something I could cover? Okay, let me take a little bit of eyeliner and we can cover that. I'll give this a second to dry, but this stuff is perfect for like no makeup days, or at least putting this underneath your makeup. I would never put this over makeup. I think it would just smear your makeup off because it is pretty thick and hard, giggity, but it's more like a patting on kind of situation that you would put over acne or over purple eyes or just anything that you want to cover up, but it's not a brightener that you would like spread under your eyes and tap it out with a beauty blender. At least I don't think so. Okay, so anyways, this should be pretty dry, and here's our little eyeliner. We're just gonna take that little boop that I got. Oh, you know, that really didn't cover it that well. It just made it a little bit more faded. It's not like the coverage is super extreme, I guess, but it's definitely enough to cover up any purple or discoloration that you may have. I guess maybe not a tattoo. It's not covering up quite as good as I thought it would, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good product. Like for $11, this is pretty bangable, and it survives skydiving. It's also the kind of product that you don't necessarily have to powder afterwards. It's like so thick and adheres so well to the skin that it just stays there. It doesn't really crease on me. Well, actually, no, I take that back. After skydiving, it did crease up a little bit on me, but what the fuck wouldn't after having 120-mile-an-hour air blowing on you? Most blowing I've had in ages. But even though the coverage isn't, I guess, the most impactful, or at least not as much as I thought it was, it is still really, really good. I recommend it if you're needing a spot concealer, a little bit of extra coverage before your foundation, or just using this alone. I think it's cool. But probably my all-time favorite squeeze, which I actually reviewed this and didn't love it, but after hearing Trixie Mattel and Brittany Broski talk about it, I picked this little baby back up again, and I learned from y'all that you're supposed to kind of leave it there to thicken up for maybe like 30 seconds before blending it out. Or if you want a lighter coverage, you can instantly blend it out. But this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. This is literally, focus you bitch. This is literally the only concealer that I've ever used until it's empty. Like normally I'll forget about them and I have to throw them away because they've expired. But this is like empty from my own personal use, and I am so gonna go buy a new one. I don't don't think it's the most hygienic thing ever, but also I'm the only one that uses this, and I go through it so quickly that I would like to lie and say it doesn't have time to build up bacteria on the little tip, but we all know it does. However, I've been fine after using it, so you can bet your sweet ass that I'm still gonna recommend this. It's very, very easy to use. It's very versatile. It is a miracle worker. It's so good for all ages as long as you immediately powder and set it. Otherwise, for me at least, this does kind of crease up really quickly, but when you kind of like push its buttons correctly and get in the groove with it and work her right, she can last all night and all day, and that's what we want. Then for setting powder to set those products, I am gonna be real, I don't really use that many setting powders. Like what I use, I kind of stick to, or at least I don't necessarily buy a lot of setting powders. Like I'll often get those samples from my Sephora orders and just use those. And usually the samples that they come with aren't super affordable. They're like luxury samples. But the only one that I keep reaching for, which isn't necessarily something that I totally recommend, is the Coty Airspun. This stuff is good, but it is so fragrant that I had to stop using it unless I'm gonna like hold my breath. It just smells very strong of baby powder, but like a baby powder that a woman would maybe powder her cleavage with in the 1800s. I don't know if powdering cleavage was a thing, but that's just what I picture with this. It's very fragranced. It is very, very strong, very florally, kind of potpourri-esque. The quality of it is actually pretty good. Like it's got a nice fine mill to it, and I'm sure they probably do make an unscented version, right? I don't know, but I do remember when this blew the fuck up, it was at Walmart for like $4, and then after it blew up, it was a whopping like $7. So I think this is still like my first or second ever powder, and I still have a bunch of it in here, and oh my god, I do use this when I do drag makeup because I just slap shit on my face. But even with normal makeup, I think this is very, very pretty. It is a super affordable option, but if you have any kind of sensitivities to smells, this will really set you the fuck off. Like it is strong. So I kind of recommend it, but I more don't recommend it than I do, but I kind of like it. I don't know. I kind of also feel that same way about setting sprays. I don't use a lot of them. I just use like the Gerard Cosmetics ones, the CoverGirl ones, whatever was sent my way, and I'm pretty satisfied with those, but I do also really, really like the NYX matte one. I first tried this a couple of years ago when I was fortunate enough to go to Europe, and they had standing NYX stores. I don't know if they have those here in the States, but they are all over there. Even though this is matte, it still adds somewhat of a dewiness to my skin, so it's like the perfect mixture for me. And more often than not, I'll actually mix this and this CoverGirl one at the same time. This one I don't think is anything special. It's just the CoverGirl Look Lockup. It doesn't moisturize, it doesn't mattify, it just exists. I do know for a fact that it'll burn your eyes if you get it in it, but we won't talk about that. But a lot of times I'll just go like this and spray them both at the same time, and it really is a beautiful effect. But I also know that some people hate the living shit out of this, so I totally get it. If you don't like it, it might not work for you. It does work pretty good for me though. Okay, so after my makeup is set into place, actually I think I kind of jumped the gun with that setting spray. Usually I wait till the end to apply that shit, but let's just move the fuck on to contour. With contour, I've kind of found that some of the more expensive products are more shit than not. The best luck that I've had with contours are the cheapish products. One that I've recently gotten into that I'm not completely sold on, but I do like, is the Crown Brush. I think this was like $5 or $6 on clearance. They have a great clearance section on the Crown Brush website. If you don't know who Crown Brush is, they are the creators of Morphe, or they used to be before Morphe kind of lost their soul and branched out into their own thing, and then they stayed behind and have exactly the same exact fucking products that Morphe has for a fraction of the price. Literally the same quality, literally the same palettes with a different name. Their brushes are heavenly. Once again, they have so many clearance brushes for, I'm talking like 50 fucking cents for a blending brush. They're so good. I think my all-time favorite blending brush is the Morphe M433 brush, which Crown has. But anyways, enough of that fucking tangent. This is the 10 color contour palette by Crown. I like it, but I'm not yet fully sold on it. It doesn't seem like Halloween makeup-y, but it doesn't seem like as pigmented as other products are. But I don't necessarily mind that you have to layer things up, especially when this is like a $6 palette. So it's just something to check out, especially if you're one that's like just beginning with makeup, or if you're balling on a budget. Their products are banging. Then I don't know if this is necessarily cheap. I think this is $25 for this, but in my opinion, these are almost the exact same in quality. I think this one might be a little bit more pigmented, but this is also for me like 6 years old, and after having it for 6 years, they both perform the same, and now I like them both pretty equally. I think fresh out the box, this one is totally better than the Crown one, and obviously I got some love from it. I don't even know if I've ever dipped into that one, but I also like that these are interchangeable. I think you can just get the refills and these pop right out, That's really cool to me. It comes with shimmering highlighters for the face. It comes with brightening powders, contours, some warmer, like bronzier shades. It's just a really, really good palette. This is the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. Again, not the cheapest thing out there, but it's also pretty damn affordable for what you get. But if you're not interested in either of these, that's okay. I absolutely recommend the Catrice Sculpt Squad. This is now my forever go-to, and this was like $6, I want to say. Again, you have a warmer-ish option. They don't really look that warm on camera, but they kind of are. Normally, I'll just take my brush and dip into all four, and it does create the most perfect contour shade for me, and it really does work on so many people. I have a very fair-skinned friend who I've used this on, and it's looked wonderful. I have like a deeper medium skin tone friend, and this has looked great on them too. It just cannot be beaten. Like, a lot of the Catrice products really are good, and this is definitely in my favorites from this brand. Then usually after I contour, I add a little bit of warmth to my face with some bronzer. This one is by NYX, and I like this, but I don't always love it because sometimes it turns orange on my skin and sometimes it doesn't. I think whatever's on my face has to be perfectly dry in order for this to actually work, but when it works, oh my god, it's so nice. I want to say this was under $10, or at least when I got it, it was. This is their matte bronzer. It pairs really well with like a baked blush. I will sometimes just go in with this and use it alone as like a contour and bronzer on my no makeup days. It is freaking fabulous and it is freaking affordable, but I think probably my all-time favorite affordable bronzer is from Juvia's Place. Oh my god, this brand just slays my life. I will say this brand can be kind of shady. Like, they one time added me to their story and then like 15 minutes later deleted my post. And they've done that a couple times, but their products are banging, so okay. This is their bronzed medium. They do have a lighter one, and I'm pretty sure they have a deeper one. I probably should have gotten the lighter one. Maybe I did actually get the lighter one. I can't remember. But this formula is so buttery rich, creamy, pigmented, but not like overly pigmented so that it's too much. It doesn't look like I smeared dirt on my face. It just adds a nice little kiss of sun. These are super fucking affordable. Plus, they're always having sales, and like when you go to Ulta, they have the $3.50 coupon. But literally, like every week I get an email from them saying that there's some huge sale, like 50% off their whole site or something, so you can kind of do the least bit of damage to your bank account but still make out like a fucking bandit with this. If you've not tried their bronzers, I definitely recommend. I like that they give you both a cool and a warm option in here. I typically mix them both because this one does tend to run a little bit too orangey yellow. Again, that's probably because this is medium, and maybe I should have picked light. Fuck, where is my light one? I swear I got one. But this is just like heaven in a little box for me. I love it. Oh, we are winding down here, my lovely peoples. Next, we have Blush Blush. I'm not super picky with my blush. Like, I will use spices in my cupboards for blush if I have to. And honestly, sometimes using those spices looks better than the high-end blushes. But for inexpensive blushes, I'm gonna start with this guy. This is actually a bit too light for me, but I'm keeping it in case I do anybody's makeup who's fairer than me. This is from LA Girl. They actually have so many fucking good products. I should have included their Squeeze because damn, these little guys right here, I don't know if you remember when they became viral, but these things, I think they're like $2 or $3. I wanted to try them so fucking bad, but they were out of stock everywhere. I think these became popular when Vine was still a thing. Maybe not. Maybe it was like when TikTok was first starting. I don't remember, but these blew the hell up. They're really, really good. Definitely recommend checking them out. They're not like professional grade, but they are pretty decent. And I love the little applicators, but they also have blushes, they have bronzers, they have pretty much everything, I'm pretty sure. But I do remember their blushes really, really sticking out. They are fantastic. Everything from their brand is very minimally priced, but the quality is still there. Then of course, one would simply be remiss if I didn't mention probably my all-time favorite affordable blushes. That is once again Juvia's Place. These little hoes are very, very inexpensive, and they're very, very pigmented, almost borderline too pigmented. You do have to be very, very careful with them, but that also means you can just use them as eyeshadows, and they actually have quite a few different colors to choose from. I think I have a third palette somewhere, but I don't know where. But their blushes work for very deep skin tones. They have kind of unique shades in here. They work for light skin shades. I don't know where my third palette is. Maybe there isn't one. I think there is though. Anyways, these are really, really good. And when I say the pigment is there, I mean the pigment is fucking there. Oh, and I didn't even notice this one actually has highlighters in it. Oh, this one does too, or at least like baked blushes. Why have I not seen that? I love a good baked blush. Fuck, I use these all the time too. I am unaware like Delaware. Why did I say that? I don't fucking know Delaware. But again, you can get a lot of fucking shit from this brand for a little bit of money. I guarantee you, for the most part, you will probably be very, very satisfied. Then, of course, we have highlighters, which I am so sorry again for being all up in your titties with this brand, but we have have Juvia's Place. These are so pretty. I fucking hate this packaging. It is big, bulky, so wasteful, so useless. I hate it. But the actual product inside is where the fuck it's at. These and their loose highlighters, like chef's kiss to both these formulas. Then if you're wanting a different brand or maybe something even less expensive, we have the CoverGirl True Blend. Is that what these are called? True Blend Super Stunner Highlighters. These are very, very pretty. Again, super affordable, and look at that fucking glow. Like, oh yes, ma'am. It's a little bit more powdery than the Juvia's Place, but there are quite a few different options to choose from, and depending on the formulas, sometimes they aren't as powdery as the other ones. I've used them 100 fucking times on my face, and once they're on your face, it's not like they go blowing. It's just when you swatch them, they do pick up a little bit extra, and they just kind of go kabloomy everywhere. So out of these three that I'm going to show you, I would say the CoverGirl are probably my least favorite just because of that, but are they still really good and really powerful and poppin'? Fucking yes. Then we have this Wet n Wild Color Icon. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff. It is not powdery or chunky at all. It is beautiful and smooth. This actually feels very, very similar to a $40 highlighter that I have. I actually think this one is prettier, and I don't know if they make this little indent. I've had this for quite a while, but like, look at how cute that is. It's a little hummingbird. Don't you just want to give it some sugar water? But the pigment with these things is just unreal for the price. I think these are like $2 or $3, if that. And fuck, you can probably always find them on clearance or on an end cap on sale. Like, they are the real deal. I dare say out of all of those, that might be my favorite, only because of the price. I think formula-wise, Juvia's Place is my favorite, but like as a whole with the price and the formula, probably Wet n Wild. Shit, I should have included their foundation too. Fuck, why am I not on it? Maybe in a few months or something I should do a part 2 to this, maybe? I think we should, because I do actually have a lot of affordable makeup that I really do use quite frequently, but a lot of it I've also given away to friends. Like, they'll see it and be like, ooh, that's really pretty, and I'll be like, oh, it's only $10, you can have it. So a lot of the stuff that I do still have is kind of on the more expensive side that I will never give to my friends because, like, expensive. Then finally we have eyeshadows. Oh my god, the possibilities with eyeshadows are fucking endless. We have tried so many affordable palettes on here that have really been the bee's knees. Unfortunately, most of them are gone, so today we'll just have a little peppering of eyeshadow palettes. So the first one is the Nubian. Actually, literally any palette from Juvia's Place I fucking love. There's been like 1 or 2 out of the dozens that they've come out with that I haven't really cared for, so if you see a palette from them that you really, really like, 10 out of 10, you're probably gonna like it. Well, like 9 out of 10, you're gonna like it. Then, like I was talking about before, LA Girl is just fan-freaking-tastic. Look at them with her little hollow thing. Also, does this sound bug you? This is the Break Free Shadow Palette, and it screams my name because I am a purple fucking lover. It is very, very affordable. It is multifunctional. A lot of the colors do look super similar, but for the price, like, who cares? I've been able to get quite a few different looks out of this, and they actually do look different. And I've used this a lot too, and you can't really even tell. This is one of those palettes where you don't have to use a fuck ton to get a lot of pigment onto your eye. I will say though, I think that's the only eyeshadow palette that I've used from them, so I can't really speak on the other ones. Or maybe it's not. I don't fucking remember, but that's the only one that I still have, so I guess that says something. Then we have this palette, which I talked about so many times on this channel. This is the ColourPop palette. Like, pretty much everything from ColourPop is affordable, or affordable-ish. Like, some of their collaborations are kind of expensive because they have to pay for rights and all that shit, and at that point, it's sometimes not worth it. But when it's not a collab and it's just one of their normal-ass products, they are so fucking worth the price. This is their Stone Cold Fox, a very, very cool-toned kind of wedding-y palette. I adore this palette, and I regret not using it more. I don't know why I don't. I'm gonna keep this out so I do use it more. Maybe like 2 or 3 shades in here are throwaways, but 2 or 3 shades out of this entire fucking thing is like a drop in the bucket. When I got this, I think last year, I used this, oh, maybe a good like 30 or 40 times, and you can barely even tell, and it's not like these are big pans at all. They're like half the size of a normal pan, but even so, you just have to use so little of it, and you have so many different options here that this bitch will last you a lifetime. No matter if you're a professional, if you're just a beginner, or anywhere in between, this palette is where the fuck the tits are at. Like, oh my god, I just want to motorboat it. You have shimmers, you have satins, you have mattes, and I love that each row is kind of individualized with a look. Like, you could do a full look with this row, with this row, with this. I like that kind of organization because I can't look at a palette and be like, oh, I could use this, that. I need things to be like very obvious and very fail-safe, because if it can be fucked up, like, I will be the first one to do it. But I don't think I've ever fucked up anything using this palette. It is just a dream to work with. In fact, this is probably my favorite item that we've talked about. This and this foundation. These are my favorites. Fuck, if I had to pick between having an orgy between all of my favorite crushes and using these for the rest of my life, I would use these. Orgy's gonna last 10 minutes. This will be with me forever. Then our last product on here, I do also really love, but to me, it's not like the most affordable. Like, it's still affordable, but it's not inexpensive. And that is the Belen Bunny Cosmetics Belen's palette. And the only reason I'm keeping this in here is because this is the only color palette that you will ever need in your entire life. And so to me, only needing one palette that will last you a long ass time kind of makes it affordable. I think it's like $30 or $40, so it's not like super out there. But when I say this is the only color palette that you will ever need, I do truly mean that. Like, you can mix and match any of these. They go so well with literally any nude palette that you have. And I mean, be real, we all have neutrals and nudes. And a lot of palettes these days are like 80% neutrals that we already have and then like 20% colors. And I'm just very over having 50,000 of the same shade and then a couple pops of color when I could have a few good like neutral nude palettes that would work for anything and then have one really bright poppin' palette. The quality of this is astounding. They go on the eye and look exactly like how they look in here. They don't really transform that much. They aren't patchy. They blend out. You can combine them without them becoming muddy. And I love how you get like the whole Roy G. Biv and everything in between in here. Like, you've got the red, the orange, the green, the blue, the indigo, the violet. Then you have a few other shades in here. And then just to be safe, there are some like neutrals up there, but for the most part, the focus is right down here. If you don't believe me, check out Blend Bunny online. The looks that they've created are just goals AF. I cannot recommend this enough if you're sick of getting neutral ass palettes, but you want pops of colors. Like, if you see this and there's any tingling in your loins, just fucking bite the bullet and get it. You will not regret it. Just be like a little flower and add more color to the world, but don't make people sneeze. Oh my gosh, y'all, I've been talking so much that my tongue like doesn't want to work, which, oh, not a good sign for later. But no, it just like feels super heavy. So my sexy queens, there we go. That was a fun little video, wasn't it? Now it's time to go eat cookies and bask in the sun. Anyways, there you go, my loves. Thank you so much for being here. I love having you. And if you'd like to support me and my channel just a little bit more, please feel free to join us over on Patreon. It's patreon.com/poplux. There you get videos a day early. You get Patreon only content. Plus, best part, it is cheap, fun, and fancy, just like me. Like always, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you're notified anytime I upload a new video. Don't forget my newest collection of highlighters, including Black Ice, which does change from black to white, is available at thepoplux.com. Also, my latest album, Kiss of Fame, is available everywhere online that music is sold. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting them. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at officialnady, and you can follow me online at thepoplux.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!